Coming up, it's back to school here in Delaware, why school districts are taking matters into their own hands when it comes to one particular hot topic. Plus, big talks are underway with the Delaware University and local hospital about the possibility of adding a medical school here to the first state. And later, Nick and Shakara will be along with your local sports and weather. All this and much more starts right now on DETV News. Hello and welcome to DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. We begin tonight with gun violence erupting in the city, leaving many injured and a 14-year-old dead on his birthday. A Delaware bank executive also died at the hands of gun violence after being hit with a stray bullet while she was reportedly driving home from work. Carrie Mundell was the vice president and director of risk management at WSFS Bank. WSFS Chairman and CEO Roger Levinson released a statement saying that it was impossible to put into words the grief and shock that we all feel. The shooting happened just blocks away from the bank. A 22-year-old man was also shot and suffered critical injuries. No arrests have been made at this time. In other news, police responded to a motor vehicle crash involving an ambulance and a pickup truck on 7th and Union Streets. Paramedics were responding to an emergency call when they were struck after running through a red light. Sirens and flashing lights were on at the time of the collision. Both attendants were treated for non-life-threatening injuries, and there were no patients in the vehicle during the crash. In other news, longtime former Senate President Richard Cordry has passed away. Known as the longest-serving pro temp in Delaware State Senate history, Cordry served in the position for 19 years. Governor Carney called him a one-of-a-kind leader and has ordered the state flag to be flown at half-staff until August 27th in recognition and memory of the late senator. The public health mandate has officially been extended for another 30 days. Governor Carney formally extended the order to allow the state and medical providers to continue COVID-19 vaccination and testing programs. He released a statement encouraging the public to stay home if you are sick and to be sure to get tested. As students are returning to campus, so are some COVID-19 policies. The University of Delaware is requiring face masks to be worn for the first 2 weeks of the semester. This includes all classrooms, research labs, and all UD transportation from August 30th to September 9th. If more than 6 feet away from others, instructors and presenters may remove their masks. For more information on the University of Delaware's COVID-19 protocols, visit the website on your screen. And Governor Carney, elected officials, and members of the General Assembly signed a package of legislation related to protections for Delaware children.
Because we have a responsibility as state legislators and advocates in this room as well to protect the most vulnerable populations in this state.
The governor signed a number of Senate and House bills, an act to amend offenses relating to children. And coming up, Shakara joins us with a look at the weekend forecast, as well as some fun events coming up this weekend you'll definitely want to be a part of. Stay with us. DETV News continues after this.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited. Storman's Classic Hall of Fame inductees have just reached here. We're going to induct 100 people, and all the conversation around the state is going to come to a halt because we're going to induct 100 guys and girls on September the 29th at the Chase Center at 6 p.m. Be there. Also, most of these folks participated in Storman's Turkey Drive. It always happens the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Be there, Storman's Classic 100 Basketball Hall of Fame. I'm ready. Woo!
The most common question people ask me is, why am I not playing professionally? I had a very successful high school career. I was Gatorade Player of the Year 3 times, 2-time state champion. But what people don't know is that I also had 2 other knee surgeries in my sophomore and junior season. People always ask me, do you wish you could take back your injuries? But I'm actually glad that I got hurt. After those injuries, I turned into a totally different player. Things just started to go up from there. One day I got a call from Trevor Cooney at the 76ers Fieldhouse, and he reached out to me and asked if I wanted to use the facility for my training. All of the pieces started coming together, and before you know it, Han Hoops was now running in a beautiful multi-million-dollar facility. Business was booming. My ultimate goal when building this was just to really make kids happy and get them invested into committing to basketball. It's important that I make sure I open these doors for all my kids, while at the same time showing them the amount of endless possibilities that can come from working hard, giving 110%, and to never fear adversity. My ultimate goal is to get all my kids to the D1 level, the same stage that I was able to play at. In 2 to 3 years, you're going to hear a lot of big names, and a lot of kids' lives are going to be changed. That's what we do at Han Hoops. Come join us. My name is Adriana Han, and I'm the founder and creator of Han Hoops.
And welcome back. As summer winds down, the temperatures are still sizzling. Shakara, how's the weekend shaping up?
That's right, Matt. We'll continue to have warm weather over the weekend, but that won't come without cloudy skies in Newcastle County. On Feel Good Friday, there will be a mix of both clouds and sunshine with a high of about 90 degrees. There will be a stray of showers or thunderstorms that are possible throughout the day and partly cloudy skies in the evening. Now on Saturday, we'll have a high of 89 degrees with scattered clouds and the possibility of an isolated thunderstorm developing in the afternoon. Wrapping up the weekend on Sunday, the forecast will be similar to Friday's with a high of 88 degrees and a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Be prepared for a possible isolated thunderstorm later in the day. Although the weekend is looking a bit gloomy, don't let that stop you from getting out and enjoying the great events that the city has to offer. The 9th annual Delaware Burger Battle has returned to Rockford Park and will be held this Saturday, August 27th, starting at noon. Delaware's fiercest chefs will put their burgers on the line as they compete in 3 different categories. According to Delaware Today magazine, the Burger Battle has been named the best fundraising festival and has raised more than $83,000 for Delaware nonprofits. Also coming up this weekend is the 17th annual Delaware HIV Consortium's WOW Awards Gala and Auction. The awards will be hosted by DETV's own Lauren Wilson. For tickets, go to DelawareHIV.org. I'm Shakara Denise, and this has been your 3-day weekend weather forecast. Back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Shakara. And speaking of a hot summer, to help beat the heat, city officials distributed 100 free fans to seniors over the weekend. The distribution event took place at Herring Manor and King Plaza Senior Apartments. Funding for the fans were made possible by City Council President Trippy Congo, Senator Tizzy Lockman, and Councilwoman Xanthia Oliver during the hottest days. Anyone that's experiencing signs and symptoms of heat stress should avoid strenuous activity and seek medical attention immediately. Newcastle County Executive Matt Meyer signed an NCC 2050. That's a planning document that will guide county planning and land use for the next 3 decades. The comprehensive plan is a blueprint for future development and redevelopment here in Newcastle County. State code mandates the county to produce a comprehensive plan every 10 years. In other news, as students prepare to head back to the classroom, some may be attending a new school. Newark Charter cut the ribbon for their newly constructed junior high school. 6th, 7th, and 8th graders will attend the 93,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility, which includes their own cafetorium, gym, library, science labs, performing arts spaces, and athletic fields.
And to see where we've come now with this giant brand new facility, housing significantly more students, serving many more students in our community. It is a privilege and an honor to really serve in this capacity.
And speaking of schools, there is a bus driver shortage happening in the first state, which is causing some districts to take matters into their own hands. Here's DETV's Kaylin Pride with more.
More students are now back in the classroom than over the past 3 years, but because of the growing demand, districts are taking the wheel. Over the past few years, many bus contractors and agencies have been experiencing shortages. To help with the issue, the state of Delaware has increased their driver rate to help districts and contractors pay drivers a better hourly rate.
This year, our drivers' starting rate is going to be about $22.67 an hour. That's with benefits. We also have an hourly rate that's without benefits, depending on the need, whether it's a retiree that already has benefits. But ultimately, it's gone up by several dollars per hour to help to entice more people to come out to drive a school bus.
The Colonial School District's new rate is several dollars higher than the state's base formula rate.
We decided to do that primarily, again, to attract drivers. One of the things that we do know in transportation is it's more than just driving a school bus. We need to know how to work with kids to get them to school safely.
A little bit further south in the state, Thomas Pullman of the Appoquinimink School District is saying that they're taking matters into their own hands to combat the shortage that bus contractors and agencies are facing.
We're growing at a rate so fast in the community that we've had to add our own school buses.
The district is adding 19 buses in addition to 22 drivers who will be district employees.
We're really looking for people that will come into this work and actually look at it more like a career that they can work for the state and actually retire from one day.
If you or anyone you know is interested in becoming a bus driver, visit the Colonial School District's website below. At the Colonial School District's Operations Building in Newcastle, Delaware, I'm Kaylin Pride.
Thanks, Kaylin. The first state received a special visit from high-ranking U.S. official Admiral Rachel Levine. U.S. Department Health and Human Services Assistant Secretary for Health was joined by Senator Sarah McBride to highlight how medical providers and local businesses here in the first state are working to empower those in the LGBTQ+ community.
President Biden, Vice President Harris, Secretary Becerra, myself, and really the entire administration strongly support the LGBTQI+ community in all of its diversity, our entire rainbow family, and will work to ensure that everyone is represented.
Admiral Levine is a licensed pediatrician, former Pennsylvania physician general, and the first openly transgender presidential appointee to be confirmed by the U.S. Senate in American history. And the Wilmington Police Department graduated its 101st class. The department welcomed 13 new officers, bringing the city's force to just over 300. And after the break, find out which university in Delaware is talking with a local hospital about adding a medical school. And why a Del State professor is being called a trailblazer. We'll tell you why. Stay with us. You're watching DETV News.
Let DART do the driving. DART First State provides transportation that is clean, safe, reliable, and affordable. Plan your trip and get real-time bus information with the free DART Transit app. Scan your phone to pay your fare with the free DART Pass app. So what are you waiting for? Try transit today. Visit dartfirststate.com or call 1-800-652-DART.
Welcome back to DETV News. Well, it was an exciting day for many students as Chemours hosted a college STEM fair before the new school year began. Over 85 students from Delaware State University and University of Connecticut visited Chemours Discovery for a day of professional and personal development and hands-on STEM experiences. Delaware is one of 4 states without a medical school, but that might not be for much longer. Delaware State University and Christiana Care are in talks about a potential partnership. Christiana Care is looking to expand existing education infrastructure and create more opportunities for Delaware State University students. In a letter to the university, Dr. Allen says that the university is still determining if DSU and Christiana Care will be the right partners. And speaking of Delaware State University, a longtime professor is being called a trailblazer for the university. Take a look.
I would probably leave this world as I'm teaching. That's how much I enjoy it. I came here in 1962, so 62 into 2022 is quite a long time, unusually long, but I've enjoyed it and I have stayed, and they have kept me. It was exciting. Small school, so it gave me a lot of comfort. It was quiet and beautiful. My colleagues, when I first came, we all set the right tone for them to pursue teaching and get more and more education. Situations don't just stand still, so be ready and be eager to get more and more. I took them to see concerts, the Philadelphia Orchestra, New York, operas in New York City, the Metropolitan Opera. And I just did what I felt they needed, and they truly enjoyed it, even though some did not do it until after, that is a part of their lives, until after they were exposed. And I think that's very important. They were motivated. We have and have had wonderful students. I probably now am teaching grandchildren of the students who I taught when I first came.
The biggest lesson from Dr. Morrison is discipline and respect of the craft. I think she was a trailblazer, and that she has demonstrated as a modeler tenacity and what it takes to be an example of a great music teacher. Almost 99% of the things that I learned from her, I'm sharing with my students now. Dr. Morrison's greatest characteristic is love. She has an empathy for others, and I love that she understands what it takes to be a humanitarian. She has been my biggest supporter in life.
In all my doings, I think that they acquire my spirit. Just remember to help others and do your very best. Be sure to help raise the spirit of other people, be they students here or just people living in the community. Always help. You get bigger by helping others and showing them the way. Don't stand still. You can rise and rise. That is my commitment, and perhaps I got that from my parents. My father was a minister, and my mother was a teacher. So those kind of spirits, they are shared. You don't have to say them, you see them, you experience them.
All right, when we come back after this break, Nick Alessandrini will be here with your local sports report. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
As soon as I got here, I just felt the warm embrace of the community, man. Like, what y'all got going on is wonderful. And no wonder y'all called the work group, because y'all putting that work in. For real, seriously, y'all getting the work done.
We are committed to creating the best Riverside we can with the community, for the community.
Welcome back. Well, Nick's here in studio with the DETV Sports. Hey, Nick, how's it going?
Thanks, Matt. And we are just a week away from kicking off high school and college football here in the state of Delaware. Friday night lights are set for next week as the high school season officially gets started Thursday, September 1st. Then just 2 days later, the University of Delaware, they kick off their season. A fresh start for the Hens under new head coach Ryan Carty. And of course, preseason week 3 for the Birds, but something unusual going down in Miami this week. We'll talk about that. But let's start with our Delaware high school football. And here are our preseason rankings ahead of week number 1, which again starts next Thursday. For 3A, we have Middletown, the defending state champs, at the top spot, followed by Smyrna at 2, Sussex Central 3, Dover 4, St. George's at 5, Sally's, and then William Penn rounding out the top 7. For AA, it's defending state champions Archmere leading off with that top spot, followed by DMA at 2, Delmar 3, St. Mark's 4, Friends 5, Woodbridge 6, and then Caravel at that 7 spot. Now finally, let's head to our Class 1A rankings, once again led by defending state champs. It's the Laurel Bulldogs at that top spot. Following the Bulldogs, we have St. E's, Indian River, Tatnall at 4, Odessa 5, Seaford 6, and Wilmington Charter rounding out the top 7. Delaware Live Sports has released their streaming schedule for the 2022 season. They're going to bring you live action all season long, and it all starts Thursday, September 1st with Sussex Tech and Laurel at 7 p.m. The Central game of the week follows on Friday night as Dover welcomes Arundel from Maryland at 7 p.m. kickoff. And then the North game of the week will also be that same Friday night as the DMA Seahawks travel to Abysinio Stadium to take on the Howard Wildcats in a big 2A matchup with kickoff set for 7 p.m. And you can catch all of those on Delaware Live Sports on YouTube. Now on to college football now, as our Delaware Blue Hens are set to officially begin the Ryan Carty era next Saturday. Delaware opens up the season on the road as they will make their way to Annapolis to take on Navy. A tough opener for the Hens, who will look to improve upon that 5-6 record last season. Kickoff is set for 12 o'clock p.m. on CBS Sports Network, and you can also catch the home radio broadcast live on 94.7 WDSD. Now let's talk a little NFL and our Philadelphia Eagles. The Birds, they are down in Miami for preseason week number 3 as they get ready for Saturday's game against the Dolphins, but that game may be in jeopardy. The Dolphins had to cancel their joint practice with the Eagles on Thursday to a breakout of a non-COVID illness. Dolphins met virtually on that Thursday while the Eagles practiced at a separate facility in Miami. The practice was canceled in hopes of stopping the spread so that they can play the game on Saturday night. As of right now, kickoff is set for 7 o'clock p.m. on NBC. Well, that's it for sports this week. Now we'll send it over back to Matt.
Nick, thank you. And speaking of sports, the BMW Championship shined light on Wilmington last week, but after the tournament, the organization gave back in a special way.
Today we are recovering food to benefit a local nonprofit. Sunday Breakfast in Wilmington will come and collect all of the excess food left over from the Spectrum concessions.
Thousands of pounds of food were given to those in need. We're going to take a quick break. There's more DETV news ahead. Stay with us.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited. Storman's Classic Hall of Fame inductees have just reached here. We're going to induct 100 people, and all the conversation around the state is going to come to a halt because we're going to induct 100 guys and girls on September the 29th at the Chase Center at 6 p.m. Be there. Also, most of these folks participated in Storman's Turkey Drive. It always happens the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Be there, Storman's Classic 100 Basketball Hall of Fame. I'm ready.
Let DART do the driving. DART First State provides transportation that is clean, safe, reliable, and affordable. Plan your trip and get real-time bus information with the free DART Transit app. Scan your phone to pay your fare with the free DART Pass app. So what are you waiting for? Try transit today. Visit dartfirststate.com or call 1-800-652-DART.
And welcome back. There was a lot of exciting parades, festivals, and events happening over the last week here in Delaware. That includes an open house event of the city's renovated and historic community center. The William Hicks Anderson hosted the We Want You Back open house, which featured performances, games, contests, food, a DJ, and a scuba diving expedition. That sounds fun. And the 2022 Middletown Peach Festival returned this year. The annual parade on Main Street featured many fun-filled activities for all ages, including a pie contest and much more. And the Chinese American Community Center in Hockessin held its annual festival over the weekend. Newcastle County Executive Matt Meyer was on hand for the festivities. The festival featured gourmet food, a dragon and lion dance, games, folk and modern dance, as well as culture exhibits. The Chinese American Community Center has presented the Chinese festival for the past 20+ years. The center's mission is to foster the understanding and appreciation of Chinese culture and heritage through exhibits, performances, and cuisines. That's all for this edition of DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. Be sure to follow us across our social media platforms and check out our website. That's detvch.com for more. Stay well, and we'll see you next time.